Okay. Did I just film this and then decide to redo it? I did indeed. Mm. Hola a todos. I'm back with a an art progression update from I believe I left off in June. So from June till December. Was that 6 months? I believe. And yes, I am ill, but I thought if I don't film this video now, I'm probably never going to film it because I will be interested in something else. Or by the time I'm like, oh yeah, let me do this video, it'll be like 3 months from now. So we're just gonna go for it now. So I have written notes on my laptop for like each month. September, I may ramble. Pretty sure at the end of the last video, I was like, did I say I wanted to get good at environments? Don't we all? Okay. So I believe that when I did that rendered face that I was super proud of, that was in the beginning of June. Um, so I'm really happy with that. So I just continued to watch a lot of Mark's art school program. I looked at Sam Does Arts videos, his tutorials. Once again, they're very simplified on his Patreon. It's only like £9 a month. The way that he simplifies things is the greatest thing in the world for someone like me that really needs to. I'm a visual learner, and if I get bored whilst learning something, I'm gone. Mentally, I've tapped out and I can't do it anymore, which is why learning things is kind of hard for me. So good for someone like me who finds it very difficult to learn things in the boring traditional way. If someone adds mathematics, then I'm gone. And it's not even by choice. I can't do it. And then there's another artist as well who I can't pronounce their name, but I will put their at here. And I followed the tutorial. It was slightly, I don't want to say messy, but their way of working, you know that they're professional. Because when I did it, it took me like maybe a week or so to finish this piece. And I'm proud of myself because I did nearly give up halfway through, but I was like, you know what, you might as well. Because if you're creating something and you're not visibly distressed, then are you really learning? Are you really improving? You're not. So that was a great boost of confidence for me because, again, like TikTok, I have a love hate relationship with. So whenever I would do a piece and I was really happy because I knew I was progressing, when I would post it onto TikTok, I would get like a lot of likes, which is great, and like a lot of comments and stuff. But the only thing is that people hyping you up that either have the same skill level as you or possibly lower, or people just being really nice, it's not necessarily the best thing if you want to get into in an industry professionally. Because come to September, which is going to be a whole rant, because oh my goodness, oh my gosh, September me, she was strong, honestly. Um, but yeah, so in July, I was looking at a tutorial from an artist called Anthony Jones. He has a mentorship which is like $500 or something, and then he has an ArtStation account with courses broken down and also on CubeBrush. So I purchased one for like $5, which is like £4, on CubeBrush on how to draw armor because I knew that I was really struggling with armor because for some reason I don't like to make life easy for myself, and all of the games I would really like to create concept art for the characters wear so much armor, and I couldn't have just picked an easy job. Anyway, so I needed to get good at that, and I was really happy with being able to follow his tutorial because thanks to Sam Does Art, I was able to like simplify things when they would be confusing. And Anthony is a very good teacher in that sense of explaining things, and then as he's doing something, explaining it, and that's really helpful for people. For me, I was looking at his tutorials, and I knew that I needed to improve my skills because it was getting a lot closer to the event that was going to happen in September, and I was very lost. And like deep down inside, I knew that my portfolio was not concept art, but I didn't know what on earth was. Because I found something very common is that a lot of people that are concept artists are on ArtStation that you can actually find are like senior artists or they're art directors or something that also are doing concept art and whatever. But the way that their portfolios are, they're not necessarily to attract work, if that makes sense, because they're already working in the field that they want to be working in. So they're just putting that work out there because they're like, oh, this is cool. But when you're someone that needs direction on what on earth to do with your portfolio, it's very misleading because I would create something and I was like, oh, well, I saw this in this senior concept artist portfolio, not knowing full well that this is just an illustration. And now, knowing what I know now and what concept art actually is, it's all the ideas behind something instead of the actual finished final piece. It was getting a lot better with understanding and simplifying, which is really important. I would say, like, you need to know how to simplify things so you're not overwhelmed. Because for me, even though I'm not strong at environments, I'm getting a little better at them, as you'll see in November, October, November, and just simplifying everything is so good because it's very easy to get overwhelmed by, well, for me, environments because there's so much going on that I think, how on earth did people do this? Oh, okay. So there is this character that I created for the Atom Hawk contest, and at the time, I was very proud of it, but then again, when I went to the event in Portugal, I don't want to say my dreams were shattered, but my ego or maybe my self confidence was like here. And then, like, after the event, it was like, so I was really happy with how I did this piece. And it wasn't perfect, of course, but like, I challenged myself with a character with a different body type, and they were male. I do not draw males a lot, but I'm trying to actually do that because you need to show variety in your portfolio, of course. Of course, of course. Um, so yeah, I mean, at the time, I didn't realize that like the values were completely off, and there's some proportion issues. Honestly, I was just grateful that I was able to finish this character and do it and submit it, to be fair. Because as you know, art competitions can kind of like, I was very confused and my art kind of slowed down because I didn't know what to create. So I was doing a lot of, what was I doing? Gesture drawing. I was definitely doing a lot of that, which is really helpful. I'm still not very good at it because I'm not really good at like things on a time limit. That's not really good for me. Um, but these are not so bad. The gesture drawing. Yeah, that's all right. Like, I think warming up before you do art is actually a really good thing. I'm not someone that does that, but it, yeah, I literally don't do it. But it is something that is really helpful because I can see the difference in my work. But yeah, so in August, again, I was really happy with being able to render because from uh literally like what 2 months or so, I was able to render a lot better and understand and try and use like different colors and undertones for characters. So I was very happy with that. So it was helping me stay motivated, but I was still like plagued with confusion. Oh no, September. I need a drink of water. September is the month that changed everything for my art journey and the way that I view things. Although it didn't necessarily catch me off guard, but I didn't know I'd be feeling so bad so quickly. But then maybe I'm kind of glad that my brain could process it that quickly so I could like have my like mental breakdown and then afterwards be like, okay, I'm going to enjoy myself now. Whereas my friends and like the friends I'd made there, they had their mental breakdowns after the event. So I still had like I guess a mini one, but it wasn't as intense as the one that I had. Luckily for me, I had three. I think it was three portfolio reviews or four. I'm not sure. I think by the second day, I was like, I can't do this anymore. From not having a lot of feedback in that sense to then have these professionals. They were super lovely as well. So like have these professionals um give their feedback and offer ways to help, because in my everyday life, because I'm surrounded by people that can't draw, I'm like up here, because everyone else can't even draw stickmen. But then when I was at the event, everyone was up here and I was like, what? Which was difficult because I knew this, but then it's like properly realizing it, like I don't know, it just there's something about it that hurts even more. Because for example, what I want in my mind, this will make me feel good. Like I don't get validation from other people, but however, if I go to the event next year, maybe even the year after, and I open my portfolio and someone says, wow, that's how I know I've made it. If I get at least one wow, and it's a genuine one, not like a, oh wow, then I know I've made it and I know that my skills have improved and I know that I'm good. You know what I mean? Not that I'm not good because I can draw, but like I'm not at the professional level, and that's what I want to be personally. I don't want to be at the level where it's like, oh yeah, you can draw, you're kind of okay. No, that's not what I want at all. So if I don't get like a gasp or a wow or an oh my goodness, then I don't want it. Because a lot of times, yeah, when I would show my work, which I stopped doing towards the end of the event because my confidence was in the bin, buried down under, um, it was just met with like silence, and that did crush my soul, I'm not gonna lie. Because I knew how hard I had worked from January, not being able to draw faces, up until now being able to actually render shit. I was, yeah, I was like super proud of myself. Obviously, everyone didn't know that, and I'm not going to explain to everyone. Oh, I didn't know how to draw faces at the beginning of this year. Everyone at the event was really lovely, and I'm really glad that I did go, because this is what I definitely needed for myself, and it's really helped me have a different mindset on my art and how to actually improve it. It was just a hard pill to swallow at first, and even though I had my sort of realization of sadness during the event, and then I think that on the second or third day I didn't really go out much. After that, I went out and I was talking to everybody, and then I got to speak to an artist that I really admired, which was really cool. And yeah, a lot of my friends that I made there had this realization afterwards, and they were kind of had this thought of like, what am I doing with my life? And I was thinking, mm, I feel the exact same way because I don't even know. Did the 100 heads challenge when I think I took like 2 weeks off to like kind of okay, that event is interesting. And then I did the 100 heads challenge, which was I was rushing that thing because I was tired. Missed a day, and then I was like, oh, I've got to draw 20 heads now. Um, so yeah, I think that's what really helped me. And then I was just practicing heads more, the male form, and I can see that I'm getting a lot better at character designs, in particular, working with silhouettes, doing gesture drawings. I am a lot more confident with drawing the female form still, but I'm still working towards getting better at drawing males. And yeah, I just know that I'm just gonna keep going, listening to the feedback that I got at THU when I'm now drawing things like environments and doing value studies. I can take that into consideration and work on my textures and things like that and try and make there be different contrasts within my pictures so they don't look so flat. And then I get that kind of feedback from the people in the forum, and I also give them feedback on my work as well. I haven't really drawn a lot in December because of my pencil, and I kind of hate drawing traditionally, which is not the best thing in the world to say, but I do. It just makes me, I don't know, I don't love it. And as a concept artist, I feel like, I don't know if this is an excuse, but digital art is kind of a must for concept because you have to be doing things so quickly. You need to be like, it's quick. You know, you need to be coming up with all these ideas quickly. You don't have time to like, oh, I've drawn this one thing. Let me now have to redraw it, but add something slightly different. It doesn't make sense to what I'm interested in. But yeah, so those are my thoughts and like on my progression art wise. Um, I think I've done pretty well. So I'm quite happy with myself, and I believe that I'll be attending the online event at THU for their career camp. So it's just completely online, so you can get some more feedback or some interviews as well. So I know that with that, I'll be able to get further feedback on what I've been producing so that I can implement that more. And I think at this point, I'm kind of addicted to feedback, which I love because when I first received feedback, I wanted to throw myself in the bin. But now I'm like, I need feedback because how will I know what I've done wrong in my picture and how will I improve it if no one tells me? So, yeah, I definitely think it's good to get outside of your comfort zone because nothing good comes from staying within it. Like, nothing. You just slow yourself down, to be honest. I know it hurts the ego. Believe me, I did cry at the event. I cried. I think my next video will be like some scenery stuff of me in Spain because I will hope to be in Valencia for the new year, just for the weekend because I just want to check out different Spanish cities. So I'll see you in Spain.